to Time with the Thomases. If you're new, I'm Shay, and this is Mark.
What's up?
And tonight on Tipsy Time with the Thomases, we're going to do something a little different. Originally, we were going to do a taste test of all the different whiskeys that we have in front of us, but what we decided to do instead is to do a review of this Gary's Old Fashioned Mix that we found on Amazon, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I found it on Amazon probably 3 days ago. I was just searching through Amazon. I think actually for some bar tools, and I came across this, and I was like, wow, this could really benefit me because I do like old fashions. I've been making old fashions for maybe 2 years now. But the only drawback with the old fashioned is the fact that it takes so much time. So I wanted to see if this would actually cut some of my time, and if so, I'll definitely implement it in my repertoire.
Okay. And so how we're going to do this is we're each going to make one old fashioned apiece, and we've already picked out the bourbon that we think is going to taste the best in our old fashioned. So we're going to take a shot of the ones that we picked out, and I picked out the Bullet.
And I'm going with the Jefferson's bourbon.
Now the reason I picked out the Bullet is because I've had old fashions with Bullet before. So, I mean, it's bourbon. It's not like the best stuff to drink straight, but I think it could taste really good in old fashioned.
Yeah, and the reason I went with the Jefferson's because I was recommended that a few weeks ago, and I just want to see how it tastes in old fashioned.
Yeah. So we're going to get all set up, clear this off, and then we'll show you how we're going to make our old fashioned with this Gary's Old Fashioned Mix. All right, guys, so here we are, and this is a close-up of the Gary's Old Fashioned Mix, and it says you should be able to get 64 cocktails out of one bottle. The instructions on the back say to place ice in an old-fashioned glass and add 1 ounce of either brandy or whiskey to 1/2 ounce of Gary's Old Fashioned Mix. Top it off with sweet or sour soda. Gently stir and garnish with one of your favorites, either olives or 2 maraschino cherries or an orange slice. All right, so Mark is here. He is going to make his old fashioned using the Jefferson's bourbon.
Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make mine a double just because I usually like to make mine a little bit stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and do basically 2 shots of the Jefferson's. And then I'll do 1 of the old fashioned. Now again, I think with something like this, it's probably, it's up to your taste. If this isn't sweet enough for you, then you would probably just add a little bit more. I'm sure, obviously Shay's will probably be a little bit different than mine will be. But we'll see what this ratio tastes like when I add the cherries and see. And that's basically when I make my old fashioned. That's kind of like, I like a lot of ice with my old fashions. So I'm throwing cherries on. Give it a little stir. Let's see what we got. That's an old fashioned. That's good. That's very good.
Okay. I'm just gonna take a sip of this. That is really good.
So, and before Shay even does hers, I'm surprised that they were able to mimic everything involved with making a old fashioned. The orange bitters. I mean, you can taste the orange, the almost like the slice of the orange in there. It tastes very, very good and very close to what I would usually make, but again, in a fraction of the time. So for me, it's a definite hit.
Okay. All right, everyone. So I am going with the Bullet again, and I am going to do actually just 1 shot of Bullet. So let me do that. See if I get that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to do 2 parts of the Gary's Old Fashioned.
Now, again, like I said before, this is, it's subject to taste. She likes hers a little bit sweeter than I would, so that's why she would go ahead and do the 2 parts. And I'm thinking it's probably going to really hit the spot for her.
I'm going to put my cherries in. I'm going to stir it. There we go. All right, let's see. That's good. It's sweet, and I think if I had to do it again, I probably would have went with the same ratio that Mark went with, because it is sweet. And if you were to just smell this, it smells like orange bitters. It smells exactly like orange bitters, but it's really good. And as Mark said, you're not sitting there with sugar cubes and your orange bitters and your orange slices and your bourbon and trying to mix an old fashioned and get the perfect ratio. It's good. It's really, really good.
All right, guys, we're back. I want to give you some of the thoughts that I had on this, and Shay's going to give you her thoughts as well. First of all, it was so good that I had to make another one. It was really good. I made the same ratio. I didn't change a thing. It was a double. Came out perfect once again. I'm going to go ahead and endorse this. For one, it's a huge time savings. It's literally going to take you probably 25% of the time to do this. Probably even less than that, because when you think about all the things that you have to do to make a really good old fashioned, not to mention actually going out and getting all the things, you don't have to worry about bitters or orange peels or any of that kind of stuff. So that for one, that alone would get my endorsement, but also the fact that it's actually good. I didn't expect for it to taste this good. I figured that I was going to have to mix it with some kind of grenadine or something to just make it taste right, but it actually tasted very good just right out the chute. The other thing I wanted to mention was the fact that it did have a really good review on Amazon, and like I said, there were others on Amazon that we may actually do a review on as well. The one thing that I definitely like about this is the fact that you're going to get a whole lot of drinks out of it. You said it gives you how many?
I think it says 64 cocktails.
So if you get, around 64 cocktails based on how you mix it, that's a bargain. It was $18.99. So I had very low expectations for this. So I'm very pleased. What you think?
I liked it a lot, and actually I went back in and added a little bit more bourbon to mine just because I liked how Marcus mixed his. But yeah, for $18, $18 and some change, 64 cocktails, you cannot beat it, because you're not going out and getting all those ingredients. You don't have to worry about the sugar cubes and the bitters and the orange and all that stuff. So for me, I think it's completely worth it. So I would say definitely give it a shot. We're going to link it down below. Definitely check it out. And I think what we'll do, I think Mark has an idea of what we want to do for our next video to incorporate this.
Absolutely. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead, and she loves my old fashions, and after the first old fashioned I made, I pretty much fell in love with it, even though it was a pain, but it was really good. So I think what we may do is we'll do a contest. We'll see if we can pit this versus my old fashioned. We'll do a blind taste test and see, will it taste better? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Regardless of how it tastes against mine, this is probably going to be the route that I go, especially if I have people over, because let me tell you, there is nothing more infuriating than sitting there and grinding stuff up and muddling it, and you basically pulling this out and you're just grinding stuff and sugar cubes and this, and telling people, okay, 1 second, okay. Because old fashions, it's not something that you can make in bulk.
Right.
You basically have to make them one at a time, and that takes time. And the more time that takes, it's taking you away from your party, your guests. Yeah. So if I can slide this into the mix and kind of people ask, hey, can I get an old fashioned? I'm like, yep, and I can give it back to them in 45 seconds. I think they'll be impressed. Yeah. So
it's like it's not deliveries DiGiorno.
Exactly. So I'm a huge fan of this so far, and I have a feeling I'll probably actually go back on Amazon and get a couple more bottles just in case there's a run on these. Like I said, there was I think it was either 4.5 or 4.25 stars for this. So it's very popular online, and I get it now. We actually just got this in today. When I bought it, I was skeptical, but no longer skeptical. I'm a fan, so
It's good.
I'm happy.
Yeah. So definitely, like we said, check this out if you are into old fashioned. And I think that's it for us. In our next video, we'll be doing this versus a homemade old fashioned, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Take care.
Bye.